Welcome to Simply Excel. In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can add some basic charts into your spreadsheet to start visualizing your data. As always with Excel, there's a couple of ways of doing this. We can either do it through the menus or using keyboard shortcuts. We're going to start by looking at using the menus. And the first thing we need to do is highlight the data that we want to put into our chart. So we're just going to highlight all our sales data, come up to the Insert tab, come across the chart area, and we've got Recommended Charts. When you click on that, Excel will present you with a few charts it recommends for visualizing your data. If you don't see what you want here, you can click on this tab, All Charts, and it gives you more options. For now, we're just going to stick with the basic default chart it suggested. And that's just added the chart onto the same sheet as our data. Now we can immediately see that total units is skewing our chart a bit. Either we could have not selected that when we selected our data, or we can now filter it out. If we come to the chart filters area, scroll down to the bottom, remove the tick from total units and apply that, and immediately our data is a lot more readable. Other things we can do to make the data more readable: we can resize the chart just by dragging on the corner, so just like any image. We could also try changing the design of the chart to make it more readable. So just coming up to the Chart Design tab, you can see all the various options, and if we just hover over those, it'll preview what they're going to look like before you actually select one. Let's pick this one. And then another thing we can do to make it more readable is we can change the layout of the chart. So for example, if we wanted to put our legend down the right hand side, there's some quick layouts over here that will do that for us. You see this has also added axis titles. And if we just double click on the axis title, what we can do is use cell references to populate those. So if we type equals, you'll see that's appeared in our formula bar. And I can just click on the cell that contains the data I want to use for that axis. Again, I can pop equals our month in there. And again for the chart title, equals our widget sales 2021. And already our data is just starting to look a lot more readable just by doing a few simple steps. Other things we can do is we can add elements to our charts, and that includes putting the data labels on each column. So we can put them within the column, inside the tops of the columns, at the bottom, or on the outside end. Obviously that's going to depend on how your chart's formatted and to how big your numbers are as to how readable that is. But it is one thing you can do just to make your data instantly more readable rather than trying to trace across between the lines on the left hand side. You also have a whole load of formatting options, just like you do with any image. So we can play around with putting fills in, we can pattern those fills. So there's a whole host of things we can do to make our chart look nicer. If we want to move that chart, we can click on it and drag it around our sheet. And we can just delete it by hitting the delete key. As I said at the beginning, there's a few ways we can do charts. Another way is using this little quick analysis prompt that appears when we select our data. Click on here, come to the charts option, and again it just suggests some chart types that might suit our data. And if we click on one of those, again we get that basic bar chart that we can start working with. Two other really quick ways of introducing charts to your spreadsheet. If you want to keep the chart on the same sheet as your data, you can simply press Alt and F1. Again, we get the default basic chart and we can start amending that. The other option though is to move your chart onto a separate sheet within your spreadsheet, and that would allow you to have maybe a larger chart, not have your data in the way, you could separate it for printing out, etc. And to do that, we simply press the F11 key. You'll see that's inserted a new tab at the bottom. The chart's a lot bigger in here. When we start working with it, we can just focus in on what that chart looks like without worrying about where it's positioned in relation to the data. But still, if we want to, for example, edit the chart title, we can still use that equals and just come to the tab where our data is to reference it. So it doesn't matter that it's on a separate sheet from your data for doing things like that. Now this has been a really quick introduction. There's a whole host of things you can do with charts. Probably best just to start having a play yourself. If there's anything in particular around charts that you'd like me to cover in a future video, please leave a comment. And please do like and subscribe to my channel for more Excel tips. Thanks for watching.